Hello everyone and welcome. I'm just putting my finger right in the ink pad. That's a good way to start a video. I'm popping on because I was busy doing some swap cards and I thought you might enjoy this tip. So what I want to do is I have this layer here and I want to add ink in a circle right about here. So what I did is I took a little bit of my seal and I put some on my grid paper. Okay, yeah, I did. There we go. So I've got a bit of seal there, and I just want it tacky. So I'm going to put my fingers on it, take some of the stickiness off. And so because I need to do a lot of these, over 20, I'm going to always put my paper in the same spot. So I mark this little spot here. And there we go. We're going to put that there. Now, in order to get sponged color in the circle, I thought, what can I do to make it simple? So I took a window sheet and I took a deckled circle. And you might be saying, deckled circle, Lillian, where did you get those? These are going to be in the new upcoming, soon to be released, September 6th, you can start to order it. The deckled circles, and there are actually 14 of them. What I chose, I played around with sizes, and I chose from the center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I chose circle number 6, and I put it on a window sheet that was bigger than my card and cut it out. So now I have a circle there. And I'm going to, and I put the word up here so that I don't flip it over and get ink where I don't want it, because I am going to end up with ink up here on the top layer. So now I'm going to place this where I want my ink. So it's down a bit. I've got it centered side to side and a bit more space at the bottom. So that's my plan right now. And now I need something to hold that window sheet in place. I'm going to use washi tape, but you could use Post-it notes. You could use whatever. So I'm going to take a couple of pieces and making sure that that's where I want it. I'm just going to make like a little hinge because, like I said, I have to make a lot of these. So I'm setting this up so I can recreate this many times over. So see, it's like a hinge right there, like that. And I've chosen some colors here. I wanted more like a evening sky color. So I've got crushed curry, balmy blue, crushed curry, Highland heather, balmy blue, and night of navy. And I've got some blending brushes. You could use sponge daubers. You could use whatever you have for blending your colors. I love our blending brushes. I have 2 sizes, and usually I designate 1 to blues, but I'm using 2 different shades of blue here today, so I've got an extra one here. So let's just get started. I'm going to put some ink on my yellow. So this is crushed curry. I'm going to dab the excess off, and I want the sun to be down here. So, and I always start with relatively the lightest color. I'm starting on my window sheet and going up like that, and I just want a little bit of yellow. The sun is just setting. Now, did you notice my fingers are way back here? I want the lightest of pressure. If I press too hard, I might get sort of those feathers and blobs, but if I press really lightly, I can always add more color. So then I'm going to put that down and bring in my purple, my Highland heather, and again I'm just going to dab it off, and I'm going to come starting on my window sheet again and just again very lightly going, and I'm going to overlap the yellow, and I'm going to go higher than the purple, than I want the purple to be, because I'm going to overlap the next color too. So I'm just swirling. If I wanted more, I could, but I think I'm going to stop there, and I'll have a look when I near the end. Now I'm bringing in the balmy blue, and I'm starting at the edge on the window sheet again. Again, I'm just the lightest of pressure, and it looks like you're not doing anything initially, but it gradually builds up. And you can always add more color, but you can't take it away, right? So I'm going to, whoops, go to the correct ink pad. If you ever get the wrong color ink, remember you can wash it. But the thing is, you would have to let your blending brush dry. But the color stains, but you can wash the color out. So you can see how it's getting darker there. I'm going all the way up, even though I know I'm bringing in another color, just because I like to do the overlapping. It looks more blended, which is what our goal is here. And now I'm bringing in Night of Navy. It's my darkest color. So I'm going to come from the top and again, just swirl it. And again, it doesn't look like much is happening initially, but you can keep adding layers of color. And it's like magic for me. When I lift this window sheet off, it will look quite different. So I'm going to even bring this down a bit into the other colors, because an evening sky isn't just like a rainbow, is it? It's the colors blend together. Okay, let's see. Let's take a peek and see if we need to do any tweaking. Look at that. I'm pretty happy with that. I might want a bit darker up there, but because I've got everything stuck down and hinged in place, I can come back and it'll be in exactly the same spot. So I can add it just a bit darker at the top, and then I'm going to swirl it down a bit so that it blends. And there you go, just like that. And now because I'm doing so many of these, I'm going to move that to the side, and I can bring the next one in like that and do it all over again. Now, what you might find is that after a while, these colors on the edges, they start to get muddy. So if that happens, and I find after about 4 or 5 that happens, so what I do is I bring in my silicone mat. You could bring in some wax paper, whatever, just something that's going to catch the moisture, and the moisture won't go through onto your scrap paper here. Then I'm bringing in a baby wipe or a damp paper towel, and I'm just wiping off that excess ink. I'm going to take a look-see here and give it a minute. Now I can move this away, and it's still nice and clean there. And now let's bring in our next piece of paper. So we're going to put it right in the corner. We've got that all lined up. I'm trying, because I've got inky fingers, I'm trying to be careful here. Because I've got this window sheet on a hinge, it's going to go in exactly the same spot, and I can start all over again. I always pounce a little bit of color off on the scrap paper. Start from where you want, and I just want a little bit of yellow, but again, I am doing it a little farther, and then I can always bring the colors over top. And just like that, I'm recreating. Now, it'll be different intensity because you'll never get it exactly the same, but the night sky is never exactly the same, is it? So that might be enough. Maybe I better stop, bring in my balmy blue. And what I try to do is always bring my colors in from the same spot. Then it doesn't get muddy quite as quickly. So you notice the yellow came from here, the purple from here, the light blue from here, and I'm going to overlap it like that. And now I'm bringing in my dark blue, and I'm coming from the top. So that's another little trick for keeping your colors a little truer. It doesn't matter so much going dark to light, but if you were coming in with your yellow and you touched here with your navy blue, then it would definitely contaminate it. So there it is like that. I think I want a little bit more balmy blue right about here. just to round that out. And I'll bring in a little more of the navy from the top. I'm going to go more around the edges now, like that. And now we have that. And you might be saying, well, what are you going to do with that, Lillian? Well, I'm working on some swaps. So swaps are cards that you make for a whole bunch of people and then you trade them. So you're going to have to wait and see. But I wanted to share this tip with you. So it's just a quick, easy little tip where you can add color to the background and be consistent. So thanks for joining me. Hope it helps you out. Take care. Bye.